Good morning, cubies and newbies. I'm Sunshine, and it's a weekend. It's Saturday. Yay! I'm the creator of the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes, and here on my channel I play with that. And I recently got some new cubes that I showed you guys. This looks like a cube, but it's not really a cube. This is just a bead puzzle, and it's solves like any other bead puzzle. Just do one face at a time. Line it up so that what you want, you can, for example, I can change, but I can change these. I can swap the colors around. The colors of the beads have no meaning whatsoever. The layout of where the beads go has no meaning whatsoever. It's not really a cube. It's just designed. It just looks like a cube. But because it is shaped like a cube, you can do patterns with it. Once you've got the beads mastered, you can do patterns with it. Like, for example, you can do what looks the checkerboard and have pretty patterns with your beads. But as a cube, it's not really a cube. And it has to line up perfectly, doesn't move. So it's fun if you like bead puzzles. So that's what that's for. I'm going to put that back on my shelf now because I've mastered it. But I showed you guys that I got these cubes. And I've been working on the Minxes. I've been working on the Minxes the last couple, since I've got them. And this gave me insight into these ones. So before I said that when I was working on these ones, I had to use algorithms for the final edges. But this gave me insight into this, and so now I don't need to use algorithms. I can solve these with just A and B. The problem with scaling that up to here is there's an order of operations. Said using formula B on some pieces messes up other pieces. So for example, I've got to do these centerpieces before I do these centerpieces, or else doing these centerpieces undoes these. So I haven't yet figured out the order of operations, and I've gotten this far. Have not yet figured out. The problem is I'm sometimes using formula A, which messes up things, so I have to redo them with redo what it messes up with formula B. So I'm still working on it. I have not mastered this one yet, and because I can't figure out, if this were a cube, then I would line it up and I would place it here. The problem is that when you cross that center aisle, it doesn't. I haven't figured out yet how many turns I have to do to intersect, because just doing the formula A, just this one and this one, they don't intersect, so there's nothing that moves to make that happen. I can place it this way, just doing formula B this way, but that messes up too, and right now I only have one. I thought that was a parity, so I did a slice and redid it, but it's not a parity. It's just a matter of I haven't yet figured out how to cross the center aisle with formula B. I can do it with formula A, make it line up, but then I have to undo with formula B. So I'm still working on this one. But because I can do these ones, I'm absolutely sure that I can do these with A and B as well. But I haven't figured out the order of operations, and I haven't figured out how to cross the center aisle yet with my formula B. So I am still working on that. But what I did find out with what the formulas do, if I use these two columns instead of, I can use, for formula B, for the corner, I can use these two columns or these two columns, and for the center I use these two columns. But for the edges, for the corners, if I use these two, up, up, down, down, it moves just these three corners around. Moves them around, changes location. So up, down, down, and 3 goes back to start, of course. But if I use these columns, wait, did I do this yesterday? Up, up, down, down. It does absolutely nothing. But if I use the inner, so for on this size cube, I have to use the outside, these columns for Formula B to move these corners. For the larger cube that I'm working on, I can do these 2 columns, and it moves some pieces around. But for doing the edges, when I get to the last layer, it moves these three pieces around. Let me show you. Up, up, down, down. But it also moves these 3 corners around. So if I go ahead and from this move and go right into solving those corners, then I can be left. One of them were flipped, so let's change that. Let's fix that flip. 2 of them are twisted, is what I meant to say. Okay. Then what that does is it moved these 3 edges. Okay. And if I do it so that I'm just working on the top edges, if I have these done, I can do my left hand down and then it's working with these 3 edges. So I can I can work with that with the edges this way. Do it back. And once more. And then, like I said, fix these edges again, the corners again. I know words. And then fix the twist. So I can do this one, and I can do these ones, but like I said, I'm still working on this one because I can't figure out how to cross that center aisle with my Formula B. So I'll keep playing with that. All right, how are you guys this morning? Who do we have here? Who's here? Who is here? Good morning. I am going to, okay, ABCube method works on when I use A and B on the cubes, there's no order of operations. When I work with, I can place any 3 pieces without messing up other things. So that's why I'm confused by the order of operations on this one, but I'm working on it. So does anyone have any questions for me? Where to start? What cube do you want me to play with? I can do this one. I haven't done this one in a while. This is my 3x3x9. And it is also solved by the AB method with one minor adaptation. Does anyone want me to do this one, or should I just walk through my formula and scramble my cubes? I will only play with this one if somebody says, yes, 3x9. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start scrambling then. Let's get everything off the stage. Off of my stage. Except for, wait. 2, 3, 4. Where's my 5? There's my 5. Alrighty, let's scramble. I don't have a app that will scramble it for me, and I don't have a person that will scramble it for me, so I just close my eye, don't look, toss it in the air and catch it. So I've changed my orientation, just scramble whatever I can. Are there, I know there are apps that will give you a scramble for the 3x3. I don't know if they also give you a scramble for for the larger cubes as well. I do know the naming convention for them, so I could follow a scramble if I had one. Scramble, scramble, scramble. Kitty, what are you doing? There is a creature in the backyard. Fluffer sees it, and she is going to dominate. I'm sure it's just my landlady's dog. But they have not yet established their pecking order and come to terms with each other. So, doop-de-doop-de-doo. All right, what am I doing? Okay. Quick overview what A and B does. Formula A, you hold the cube as if it were a spreadsheet with the rows and columns. Hold the cube, look at the face as if it were a spreadsheet with rows and columns. And then Formula A, Formula A and B, the arrows are the single slices that you turn. Formula A, for example, if you use the bottom row in the right-hand column, switches these two corners, and as you do it again, it does it again and flips it. It messes up, it affects edges as well, which is why later on in the game you're only doing it in sets of 6 or multiples of 6. But you don't have to know that, the cube does that. So if you want to affect the corners and twist them, all you have to do is once you've got the cube back to the top, slide it and keep going with your Formula A. And 6 moves always changes the equivalent of one cube back to solved. I say the equivalent because if there, it will either twist one cube 6 times, either affect one cube 6 times, so it's back to start, or you can, if you affect 3 cubes, they are each turned. They're all turned one rotation, either all clockwise or all counterclockwise, because 3 counterclockwise equals the start, the equivalent of back to the beginning. So if you have 3, they will all, in their position correctly, they will all be turned the same direction. If you have 2, only 2 that you're working with, let me put this one back to normal, back to right, and finish it out on this one to affect this one more. When you are back to finish with your rotation, these ones are both, they're still in the same place, but because there's 2 of them, one is turned clockwise, one is turned counterclockwise, so that they can cancel each other out, because the cube has to follow its own internal logic. So to solve these ones, again, Formula A, and just keep going until my yellow's on top. Slide it out of the way to protect it and keep going on this one. And it's solved. And because I did not rotate the cube, I only rotated the top, I only slid the top row. The remainder of the cube sets itself back to solve when the pattern of A is completed. I'm sorry. My mind is split right now. I'm sitting here playing with my cubes, but I'm still trying to figure out, half of my brain is still working on my minks. So I'm going to go back to my minks. Do you guys, who has a minx out there and knows how to do what I have not yet learned? Because I'm willing to use algorithms at this point, because if I get it solved, then I can do my formulas and see what they do. Which is what I do with these ones. I just do a pattern and see what it does and then copy it. But I have half a dozen of these, half a dozen of these. I only have one of these. So I've got to get this one back to solved so that I can figure out how to use B without crossing the aisle, or I kind of thought, excuse me, I kind of thought that I could, instead of crossing the aisle, I could reposition it, doing a formula B on this side, up, down, down, without crossing the aisle, and then set that back, and then look and see where it is. But now it just crosses the aisle this way. So I thought about, that's the same thing. I really haven't figured it out. I can move it to this side without crossing the aisle. So if I want this piece to be here, I could move it down. Where? What am I doing? I could I could place it here and position B on this way to move this piece here and then here, but that changes this one as well, and so I really don't want to do that unless I have two of these that I want to change. So maybe I could position something here. Sorry, I know I'm not teaching. I'm just playing now because this is what my brain wants to do. So if I do that, then these two are both there. Now, if one of those had been a gray, if it had been a gray that I'd placed, let's do that again. Oh, no. Okay. What I want to do, I want to place I'm going to move this gray here, and I want to place a gray here. So I want to have not my solved piece. I want to put an unsolved piece there and see what that will do. Throw a garbage piece in there. So I did this yesterday once. All right. Okay. So now I have two pieces here. So I can line this up. I have to line this up so it'll go there. But if I can line up, let me line this one up first. Okay, so that's going to come forward. So if I put my pink and lemon here when I do that, then this piece is going to come, no, but that's going to take two turns. Who knows how to do what I'm trying to do? Because I don't. All right, so, no, this will do it. Now I have to remember what I did. Oh, I threw a garbage piece in. There, I did it. Ha! Yay me, I'm so wonderful. Okay, good job, self. All right, so now, and again, there's an order of operations to what I do. So if I have to do, I think I have to do the absolute center on the top. So okay, so this one's correct, this one's correct but flipped, this one's correct but flipped, this one's correct. I know how to do this. I did this yesterday on this one, but because I did it on this one, I wasn't counting on the extra moves of the side pieces that I don't want to play with. So I guess maybe I need to get my side pieces in place first. Because on this one, I can flip real easy. I just do, okay, I bring it forward. So I'm working on these three. And I go up, 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 down, down, and fix my corners. Up, up, down, down, again, up, up, down, down, and reset and fix these corners. I can do this later, but it just helps me to do it now. Using the mirror of the inverse of A instead of A, just to save time. So I did that. So that changed. So these three cubes are the ones that need to change, and then I did it reversed and did it this way. I think this is what I did. Up, up, down, down, and then reset. Nope, finish my corners first. Up, up, down, down, and then reset and fix my corners. And that flipped two. So I know how to flip two. So I know how to flip these two. But I'm not sure what's going to happen to the other edge, to these, the extra edges that don't show up on this one. So I'm going to figure that out. I will go back to solving the cube if anyone asks me a question. Other than that, I'm just going to play here because this is where my brain wants to be. However, teaching my method is way more fun for me than solving a new puzzle. Solving a new puzzle is crazy fun, but teaching is more fun for me. So this one's right, this one's right, this one's right. These are the two that want to switch. So, you know what? These are lined up. I could use, instead of using the outside, I could treat these two as one piece. Maybe that might give me something better. That might help me. I don't know what it's going to do. So I'm going to treat these these two as one column. So I'm going down, and then wait. If I do that, do I have to treat this one as well? Yes, I do. That's going to flip. I don't know what that's going to do. All right, I'm only going to work on the outside, and I don't know what's going. These are going to scramble. That's okay. All right. So again, so what I did is I went down, and then I placed this one and fixed the corners, and then I went up again and I flipped it around and went down this way and fixed the corners. So that should work. If it worked on that one, it should work on this one. But I really want to use these. I really want to keep these safe. All right, never mind. Down. So wait, what am I doing? I got confused. All right, so out, up, in, up, out, down, in, line up, down. Okay. And then keep going to set my corners. I'm so confused. Up, up, down, down, and again, up. Stay lined up. Don't scramble yourself on me. Up, flap, go up, slide up, slide, lined up, down, slide down. And then undo that. Nope. It looks like I forgot to do my left down before I did this. I'm done. I'm so done. All right, let's get back to my cubes. I know how they work. Bottom line, it's a toy. If you're not having fun, put it down, have a snack, have a nap, come back to it later when you're not feeling frustrated, because the goal of any toy is to have fun. If you're not having fun, then you're frustrated, you're not going to be making progress. So I'm putting that toy down and I'm picking up my toys the toys that behave. This is one thing I love about the Rubik's Cubes, is that no matter how scrambled my life can get, your day can get, no matter what it looks like, no matter who has taken your cube and scrambled it and affected your life, the cube is 100% predictable. It has internal logic that it has to follow. So when you do the A and the B, it does solve itself, no matter what. And there's very few things in my life that are that obedient and controllable. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to solve my cube and put my brain back together, as I do. So if nobody has any questions for me, then I'm just going to work on my 5x5. Kitty, do you have a question for me? What is your question? What would you like? Is everything too cluttered for you? There. Is that better? Come on. You can come. Come on. You can come. You can come. Say hi. Come say hi. Come say hi. No? Oh, you're so beautiful. All right. Well, you come when you're ready, if you want to. If not, you do whatever you want to do. All right. Okay. So, ABCube method. Hi. My brain is an interesting place to visit. Okay. So, this is yellow. Or this. Am I working with white or am I working with yellow? I like yellow better. Let's work with yellow. Okay. Here's a yellow on top. Check I'm looking only at corners. Does this one have a yellow? Yes, but it's not on top. So formula A will bring it to the top. And then look at the face of the cube as if it's rows and columns. There's my kitty, or foot. Hi. Hi, beautiful. What are you doing? I am the shortest distance from here to there. Really? You jumped up over here to walk across my stage to get over there, which is lower to the ground than this here. There is no logic in your brain, kitty kitty. All right, so yellow. This one's right. I'm looking at this corner, and there's a yellow somewhere. So if I do formula A, it'll bring it to the top. Bottom row, right column affects the corners, and it flips these two. So out, down, in, up. Is the yellow on top? Not yet. Keep going. Out, down, in, up. Is the yellow on top? Not yet. Keep going. And you know what? I'm just going to muscle it. No, see, I'm not going to muscle it into place because this is the cube that wants to be there. Okay, so out, down, in, up. Yellow's on top, but I want this one. So I'm going to keep going. Down, in, up. All right. Slide the top to protect it. Keep it out of the way. Is there a yellow somewhere on this corner? I'm ignoring everything. Only corners exist. Everything else is just not there. If I wanted to, I used to cover them with little icky sticky notes so that I could only see the corners. So that when I was teaching people, I would say, "Look, you're only looking at the corners. Everything else is not there." So it helped in teaching to get people to ignore those colors. But is there yellow on top? No. So look beneath it. Is there yellow there? Yes. So formula A is going to affect these two corners and twist them. So this yellow with formula A is going to end up on top. It has to. It has no other choice. Out, down, in, up. 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 Okay, yellow's on top. Slide it out of the way. We have to protect it. Keep going. Is there a yellow here? No. Is there a yellow here? No. because A is going to switch these two back and forth, if there's no yellow, that's just, I can do that forever and it's not going to get me anywhere. So I have to have a yellow in one of these two spaces. So I rotate the bottom row by quarter turns until the answer is yes. And there's a yellow. Formula A, if there's a yellow in one of these two spots, Formula A will bring it to the top. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. I know there are a lot of shortcuts that I am walking by and not taking advantage of. And you can certainly intuit your cube before you start with this, which I sometimes do. I'll do one face before I do everything else, because you can do one complete face with just Formula A. Alright, so yellow's on top. I check the side colors to see if they match. These ones don't match, these ones don't match, this one does. And because of the mechanics of the cube, at this point in time, if your active color is on top and you're checking the side colors on your corners, either they will all match to each other, or none of them will match to each other, or one side will match. You can never have two or three sides and not the other ones, just because that's how the cube works. So on this particular scramble, one side matches, so I face that away from me, and I do Formula B, which I'm not going to tell you what it's going to do, I'm just going to do it. So that's top row, 2 columns, and because I'm working on the corners, the outside columns are the columns that I'm working with. Okay, so Formula B, top row. First up, back, reverse the top row. Second up, back down, back down. If you look at Formula B, every other move is horizontal, the top row, and every other horizontal is the reverse of the one that came before it. So you're really just back and forthing it. Having done that, my yellows are no longer on top, so they're moved around. However, I already know Formula A is going to bring them back to the top, and when it does, they'll match. So I would go back to Formula A, out, down, in, up. Okay, yellow's on top. Slide the top to protect it, move it out of the way, and keep working on this one. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Slide it out of the way to protect it, keep going. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Okay, so now my first 4 corners are correct to each other. These 4 corners are correct to each other. And because they are, some people do layer by layer, but because I'm working on the corners, I'm going to keep working on the corners. So I take these 4 corners that are correct and I put them face down, and I'm going to abandon them and ignore them, and they're going to fend for themselves. Because, like I said, when I do Formula A and Formula B, is not going to affect the bottom of the cube. It's only going to affect the pieces that I want to affect. So, I'm working on the color that's opposite yellow, which cubers know is white if it's a standardized cube. Standard color notation, standard colors. Not all cubes are. So I'm checking to make sure that that's white. Yes, there's a white on each of these corners has a white on it. So I know that I'm working on the right color. This one's correct. I'm going to start there. And again, Formula A is going to bring my white to my active color, which is white now. It's going to bring my active color to the top. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Keep going till the white's on top. Keep going, keep going, keep going. White's on top, yay! Slide it out of the way to protect it, top row, not the cube. If I move the cube, I'm going to mess up my bottoms. So, slide it out of the way to protect it, keep going. I already know there's a white there because we established there's a white on all of the 4 corners. So, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. White's on top, slide it out of the way to protect it, keep going. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And because of the mathematics of the cube, once my white's on top, I can check and make sure that my yellows are still happy to each other, and they are, so I'm going to abandon them again. So, again, whites on top, active colors on top, check the side colors. Kitty, where are you going? What do you see? Why are you distracting me? What do you want? Are you so beautiful? Okay. Okay. All right, so orange does not equal, we're checking where only corners exist, nothing else exists. So these do not match, these do not match, these ones do. So one side matches, and I face it away from me, and I go to Formula B. Formula B is also not going to affect anything but the three that I want it to affect. So slide up, slide down, and A will bring my color back to the top. And when it does, I slide the top to protect it and keep going. I'm working on the four corners together, but I'm also working on them individually. And when my white comes to the top again, because one side matched, they will all match to each other. If none of the sides had matched, it wouldn't have mattered which way I held it. I would have done it, and then after B and A, then one side would match, and then that would tell me how to hold the cube. So first four are correct to each other, second four are correct to each other, so all you need to do now is rotate the top until the top and bottom are correct to each other, and now, huzzah, boom, the 8 corners, these 8 corners are all complete. If it had been a 2x2, it would be solved completely because that's all you can see. So, but with all the other cubes, when you do the corners, it then dictates what color each face is going to be, because the corners are now correct to each other, and I'm going to keep them that way. So this side is going to end up being all blue, this side is going to end up being all orange, etc. So my corners are correct to each other, and that's the first step. When I'm teaching, I usually just do corners, and then I say, okay, that was fun, scramble it and do it again. Okay, that was fun, scramble it, do it again. Or that's good, now do it on this cube. That's good, now do it on this cube. And so once they can get, so they're just, A is 4 moves, it's easy to remember, and it always says the same thing. B is 8 moves, but because you do it so often, it's easy to remember. So I have them work on just the corners for, what are you doing? Just the corners for the first, I only work on corners for the first hour. Hi, you are back. What are you doing? Hello, beautiful. Everyone say hi to my kitty. Hi, kitty, 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 kitty. Hi, beautiful kitty. Oh, you are beautiful. Yes, you are. Okay, I'm cubing. I'm working. Go away. I love you. Okay. All right, so corners are correct to each other, and because I've been training my eyes to look for the white and yellow, I'm going to keep looking for white and yellow. So when I move past the corners to the edge sizes, I hold my cube and I hold it so that my yellow and white are left and right. Doesn't matter which is on which, as long as the yellow and white are left and right. And then Formula B, what Formula B is going to do to the corners, let me interrupt for a minute, is I'm using Formula B from this point forward, except for the absolute center, and it's 1 row and 2 columns. Now, when those 2 columns were the outside columns, then what changed were the corners, like so. What changes are the corners, because those are the ones that I'm moving. However, let me put those back. 3 times goes back to start. Okay, if I apply it to an outside and an inner column, if I choose different columns, different things happen. So I select a piece that I want to move, and I apply Formula B to that piece. So I'm going to move this orange and yellow. I'm going to move it, and I'm going to move it. So the 2 columns that I'm going to use are the top row, and the 2 columns are what I want this cube to do. Okay, if I want it to go to this side, then this is my first column and this is my second column. If I want it to go to this side, then this is my first column, this is my second column. So depending on what I want it to do, the piece that I am moving, piece that I'm affecting, tells me which columns I have to use. So I want it to go this way. So first column, second column, and I start by moving this piece away from the action, so it doesn't get, I can move it back in. Up, slide, second up, reverse, down, reverse, down. And what it did is it moved three pieces, always three pieces, and this piece went here, and this piece went here, and this. So these three are the pieces that moved around. So a lot happened in the middle, but only one thing happened on the side. So I'm going to work on the sides first because I can affect one piece at a time. So coming over here again, yellow and white are left and right. I pick a piece in the middle that I want to go to the side. This does not have a yellow or white, but this one does. So this is the piece that I'm going to affect. So my corners stay together now. I bring the corners to the front to match the front. I bring the corners to match the front color. Okay, so it was red, so I bring the reds to the front. Yellow and white are still left and right. And it's going in the, so corners match the front, it's going in the yellow direction. So this red and yellow is going to land above the corners that have red and yellow. So it's going to land above this corner. So this is my first column, and this is my second column. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And that did indeed place that piece. And I'm not pairing things up and placing them later because that seems to me to be a double solve. I'm just doing one at a time. So I see those, but I'm going to have to flip the cube. I don't want to flip my cube yet. So I'm going to look at the work on this one. Okay, yellow and white are left and right as dictated by the corners. There's a yellow or white in the middle. It's this one. I bring the corners to match the front together. And it's going the yellow direction, so this is the white direction, this is the yellow direction, so this is my first up, and this is my second up. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Actually, I usually do out and in rather than away and back, but that cube is placed. And I find another yellow or white that's in the middle that wants to be placed. And bring the corners to the front, going this direction, up, up, down, down. I do not pair up my edges first, simply because when you decide how the cubes are going to match together, you have a possibility of increasing the probability of a parity, which we will talk about later. But if you just find a piece, you don't have to spend time looking for its mate. You just place it where it goes as it comes up, and you don't have to worry about. You don't have to spend energy on trying to find any particular piece. So for example, I'm not looking and saying where is my red and yellow piece, and then look for it and then place it. I just find a piece that's wrong and throw it in its direction. So away, up, in, up. Away, down, in, down. So I'm not spending energy looking for any particular piece so I can place it. I just find a piece that's incorrect and throw it where it wants to be, one piece at a time. Here's a white or yellow. It's on the front. I want it to be on top, so I flip my cube. I'm still keeping my yellow and white left and right. Bring the corners as a unit to match the front color, and it's going, this is the yellow direction, this is the white direction, so it's going this way. So first column, second column. These are the two columns, but it's still slide the top up, slide back up, so slide every other slide up, slide down, slide down. But instead of these two for corners, this is the piece I want to affect. It tells me, and this is where I want it to go. These are the two columns I'm going to use. You don't have to memorize which two columns do what. You just have to pick a cube, and the cube tells you what to do. So up, up, down, down, and as promised, there it is. Okay, here's a yellow. keep my yellow and white left and right, find a yellow or white in the middle somewhere. Okay, so I mean, this is the piece I'm going to affect. I bring the corners to match the front. The corners are a unit now. And then it's going in the yellow direction, so that's this way. So I begin by moving it away first up, where I want it to land, back, second up, away, down, back, down. That is placed. Here's a white. That I bypassed that yellow because it needs a flip, and this one doesn't. So yellow and white are left and right. Bring the corners as a unit to match the front. Determine its direction. It's going this way. So first, second, slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. There we go. Okay, and that is placed. And I'm ignoring whatever's there on the outsides. I'm only looking at what's in the centers. Here's a yellow. Because as I place them, most of the displaced things will bring themselves to the middle where I can work on it. I don't have to worry about doing that as an extra step. So I'm going to keep doing this for as long as there are yellow or whites anywhere in the middle. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Up, up, down, down. And when I get to a point where there's no more yellow or whites in the middle, then I will evaluate my cube. Hi! What do you want, sweet baby? Hello. Are you just not getting attention? Is it attention time? Is it attention time? Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up because Kitty says it's her time. So corners, and then edges, and then centers. So formula B for centers. What formula B for centers does? I should finish this. I'm going to put this back to a solid state so I can show you how to do centers, and then I'm going to call it a day. Okay, pick any piece that you want to move. Usually it's a wrong piece. Do I have a wrong piece? Okay, pick any piece that you want to move. Here's a piece. This is the red side. It's a yellow. Red does not equal a yellow. This piece is wrong. Okay, so I'm going to throw it in the direction it wants to be. Formula B moves things to the top, so I'm going to hold my cube so that the yellow is on top. And I'm going to put this piece to the top. Now, right now, it's going to land right here, and that's going to be completely ineffectual because I don't want to bring that one down, so I'm going to slide the top. That's my first horizontal, is to line up something advantageous. And then I go up, and then I have to move this a quarter turn so that it's in a different column. If I go this way, it's the same column, doesn't count. So I have to rotate the quarter turn, and now it's different column, so this is my second column up. And I reverse, down, set the top, and continue. Here is a green. Okay, it's going on to the top. Line it up so it's advantageous. That's my horizontal move. First up, horizontal to move to a second column. Second up, reverse, and because my edges are done, they keep me track on if I get confused and go in the wrong direction. They're like, nope, that's not the right layer. Okay, so down and down. So the corners help me place the edges help me place the centers, and lather, rinse, repeat. Thank you for joining me, you guys. It's been fun. Now I need to go hit my head against I'm gonna go feed myself and take a nap, and then I will try my minx again when I'm not hitting my head against it, because it's a toy and toys should be fun. All right, so that's it for me. Thank you for joining me. I will be back here. I'll be back here next week, and I will be back here on Monday morning as well. I'm weekday mornings, Saturday mornings, and Friday evenings. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. If you have any non-cuber friends and they're interested and they wanna, you can bring them with you next time. So go have a wonderful weekend. Go sit in the sunlight and go be nice to yourself and drink lots of water. And I will see you guys later. Bye.